Hello everyone, Resonance here, and today I have another expert game for you guys as part of my new Break the Meta series for Age of Empires 2. Throughout this series, I'll be showcasing a wide variety of creative and situational strategies while evaluating how they might stack up in the current metagame. We've all seen our fair share of galley rushes and knights, so today it's time for something completely different. It's time for some mass Tarkins. In this expert match, IAmAbe will be playing against Alive in a 1v1 on the map Arena. At the top right corner of the map, we have Alive, aka Guns N' Roses, playing as the Green Mayans. And on the bottom left side of the map, we have IAmAbe, aka Mummy, playing as the Teal Huns. Now, a Tarkin Rush is awfully exciting. I haven't watched this replay yet, but I know that there is a Tarkin Rush involved here, and I'm very, very excited to see it. Let's talk a little bit about Arena in general first, I think, is a good place to start. And when we're talking about Arena, you'll see the first thing that our good friend IAmAbe over here does is he's looking around, he's trying to find his sheep, right? So he's fanning his villagers out. He hasn't actually found his sheep yet, so he is actually going to lure his boar really, really early on, which is, generally speaking, pretty unorthodox. He can see that there's a couple of those over there, but he's going to try and lure this boar here early as he wants to waste no time and just get his food income rolling. We see some sick villager micro here. So he's going to garrison it in the town center and then ungarrison it, so that way it doesn't die. Because when you're hunting your boar and you don't have any loom, your villager can die really, really easily to that, and the sheep have now been found. Wow, yeah. So he's going to shoot that boar twice and then lure it underneath the tent center. He's doing this so he can get some, stable food income before he finds his, closest sheep chunk. And he's just doing this so that he doesn't fall behind in the early game. And if we're talking a little bit about Arena, it's a pretty standard map that we see a lot of pro play on. You know, you start with a layer of stone walls around your base. And what does this really mean? It means that rushing is pretty hard to do in this case. And by that I mean, no feudal age or dark age aggression, generally speaking. There are some situations in which that will actually work, believe it or not. But in most cases, you'll see players go for a fast castle age and, they'll either go for some, heavy aggression in the castle age. They'll, drop, a forward castle on somebody. Or they'll just, straight up full boom and not do any real combat until the Imperial age. Sometimes mangonels and monks are also a good idea, so it's possible to do Castle Age aggression on Arena, but you won't really see any aggression in the Feudal and Dark Age. And the interesting thing here is, if we talk about the Huns as a civilization as a whole, their main, strong points are in the, early mid-game, which is a lot less prevalent on a map like Arena. The fact that the Huns, they start with less wood, but they don't have to build houses. They just start at their max population right off the bat is actually massive. It gives you a huge early game lead, and the Huns really excel with their very efficient, scout rush, their cavalry archer rushing, their knights, and those things don't work as well on Arena. The only way you can really do some Castle Age aggression is with a forward siege workshop, and generally speaking, you'll throw monks in with that. Monks are a great way to back up your mangonels, as mangonels have minimum range, right? So when the knights come in, the melee units, they will get converted by the monks, and the monks are also best against high-value, expensive units like the knight, right? So monks and knights, natural allies. Monks and mangonels are natural allies, as mangonels are really good against those cheapo massed ranged units like crossbowmen. That's what monks suck against, and crossbowmen are not so good against knights unless you have a lot of them. So yeah, it's just it's a great thing. Sorry, mangonels are not good against knights, but monks are. So it works out in that case. So they're a great team. But the Huns don't get is they don't really get good monks. Their monks are pretty terrible. So on a map like Arena, Huns don't generally fare super duper well. They're actually pretty disadvantaged. Their late game is very bad in that their strength as a civ, all their strengths, their early game, their mid game, the fact that they have cavalry, mobility, is normally a huge thing with the Huns. They can go for their cavalry archers, which cost nothing. They go for their knights, which cost the same, obviously, but they're very, very powerful Castle Age raiding units. The good thing about them is their mobility, can get from point A to point B incredibly quickly, but on Arena, that doesn't really matter. It's more about the slow battles, the slow push, you need siege, and that's where the Huns kind of fall apart. So what do you do as the Huns on Arena exactly? Well, you can, play standard. You can still, go for, cavalry archers, and you throw in, a siege workshop or something like that. You could go for knights, you throw in a siege workshop. You could do all these things. Or you could do something crazy. You could go for Tarkins. And why is it feasible that this actually works? Well, there's a couple things he's doing to go set himself up for this. He's attempting a boar steal here, but that's not going to quite work out, as Alive does have his Eagle Warrior guarding this, and this scout is too low on HP to be able to safely steal that. Why exactly would Tarkins even feasibly work on this, right? Well, if we look at the Mayans' options, because again, you know, when it comes to these unorthodox, innovative strategies, you have to think about the, you know, the maps, the civilizations, everything all goes into this complex decision making. What are the Mayans gonna do? Well, they're gonna fast Castle Age like everybody else is, but the Mayans are probably just gonna, you know, go for like a full boom here. I mean, what are the Huns gonna do? The Huns' early pressure is just not that strong in this case. It's gonna be really hard to get through these walls, and really, like, the Mayans have nothing to fear. They might as well just go full boom. And another reason why they might as well go full boom is because the Castle Age Eagle Warriors not super good. Like, they're even worse on Arena because you can't get through the walls. So, yeah, that's not really a big option for them. Their Plumed Archer Rush isn't as good on Arena either because they're going to need a Siege Workshop with that to actually get through the walls. They can't really do much raiding with the Plumed Archers. It's the same problem with the Cavalry Archers. The mobility isn't as important in this case. You probably want to boom up. I mean, the Mayans have a much better late game than the Huns do anyway. The Mayans have access to Elite Eagle Warriors, which is a huge, huge power spike in the Imperial Age. It's an absolutely massive one. You won't typically see too much in the realm of Castle Age Eagle Warriors, but you will see the Elite Eagle Warriors for sure. Especially with the Mayans, they have 40 extra HP. It's a huge bonus. And if we think about Elite Eagle Warriors, right, it's an inevitable threat in this matchup because the Huns have basically no response to that at all. The Huns, okay, the best way to deal with Elite Eagle Warriors is, generally speaking, to use champions. Champions are generally the best counter unit, but the Huns don't get champions. They only get two-handed swordsmen, so the late game is certainly a wash for the Mayans in this case, and also the Huns can really struggle with the mass plumes and whatnot. The Huns only get access to trash, and they only get access to cavalry units, and really, like, dealing with the Elite Eagle Warriors is so hard. I mean, you can make knights, but he can always just throw in, halberdiers in there too, and it's really, really bad for the Huns as the game goes on. Not only that, but the Mayans' economy, like, their bonuses start to really matter as the game goes on. It starts to really matter, and it pull ahead of the Huns even. Since their resources last 20% longer, it does give them a big edge in this matchup. So he's probably just going to full boom, and we can see this with the blacksmith on market. It makes sense. No barracks here means no real early aggression. Another reason why the Tarkins could work in this case is that if the Mayans do go for any Castle Age aggression, what's it going to be? It's going to be archers, and the Tarkin unit is a really, really interesting unit in that it still has really good pierce armor, and this is great. Take a look at this, guys. You see that Eagle Warrior? It came by over here, and he has seen the stone mine. We swap to his, Alive, the green player's vision. You can see that he has scouted the stone mine, and he sees that there are a bunch of villagers on it, so he knows that some evil is afoot. But I mean, again, who sees Tarkins coming, right? Like, I don't expect him to really fear this that much. It's just bizarre. And Tarkins still have, like, a good pierce armor. They have decent-ish combat stats, so they're actually able to take on the archer line quite nicely. It's just where they fail is, generally speaking, against knights and other melee units, because they have less melee armor compared to a knight and a lower attack stat. But against ranged units, they're actually okay. And Tarkins, if you don't know, they're essentially the Huns' unique unit. They're a knight with an attack bonus versus buildings, but weaker combat stats. And if I do see plumed archers here, the Tarkins are still going to be decent against them. The Tarkins will be able to match up a little bit. They'll still be able to kind of take on the crossbowmen. There's also the surprise factor going on, so Tarkins actually sound like a pretty good option here. There's really nothing that the Mayans can open up with here that would really, like, destroy the Tarkins. That's assuming that he, you know, booms up quite a bit, and why wouldn't you? Again, in this matchup, the Hun is really just not that threatening, and your late game's better. It just makes sense to play standard. However, sometimes a little bit of out-of-the-box thinking is exactly the thing that you need to win the game, and I'm really, really looking forward to this. As, you know, going really heavy on stone right now signifies the castle. He's got plenty of stone for it. He's going to put down the castle right about now, and he's good to go. You see the way that he's balanced his economy. He had 5 on stone. He's still going to have 1 villager mining stone so that he'll be able to get up to 100 so he can go build another town center. With nothing mining gold right now, this is a little bit concerning, as he won't be able to make Tarkins for a little bit, but I don't know how all in, I guess, he's going in this case. IAmAbe might not go super duper all in here. I see he's just really going heavy on wood, which makes me think he's going to go build another town center pretty quickly. And the Mayans player also up to the Castle Age. What a twist. The Mayans is going to put down 2 extra town centers. And this is why I love the decision to go for Tarkins here. The Mayans are inevitably going to boom, and if he goes for something else, it's not really going to do anything. The one downside to this, though, is that Alive, the green Mayans player, has been aggressively scouting IAmAbe, and he sees the castle going up. He saw the stone mine, but he's not really reacting, and that might be a mistake, but there's also, like, a surprise factor going on here. I mean, really, who plays around Tarkins in this matchup? And maybe people should after we see this video. Like, it's, I mean, this castle could be defensive for one, like, he's really not really sure what's going on, and how threatening are Tarkins anyway? We don't really know, and that's why I'm really looking forward to seeing how this match comes out, because I don't think I've really seen... I've seen Tarkins get some action on occasion. They're not a completely useless unit. They're definitely one of those situational units. Like all the strategies I'm going to show you, they're situationally incredibly powerful, and the Tarkins are definitely situational in that they're also very hard to mass up normally, so going heavy into Tarkins is tricky because, I mean, if you go for Knights, you can just build 2 stables, you can make them twice as fast as you would Tarkins, and Knights are just better in all-around combat. The Tarkins are better than Knights in 2 situations. One, you really need to blow up some buildings, and you don't want to go into a siege workshop, and like I said, the Hun siege not super duper good, and having to build a siege workshop is super taxing on your economy if you're going through something like Tarkins or Knights early on. It's super taxing on your eco because they cost completely different resources. If you're going for Knights, you're gonna go really heavy onto food, and you're gonna need to spend your wood on farms, so going for mangonels, which cost like 160 wood, and battering rams is, you know, generally speaking, unfortunately, actually, or it's like 135. Either way, yeah, they cost a lot of wood. And that's pretty taxing on your economy in the Castle Age. So the Tarkins, in a ghetto sort of way, are almost like a battering ram and a knight in one. It's kind of a funny way of looking at it. It doesn't really work that way, but yes. So they're better in this case when you don't want to tech into a siege workshop, and you kind of need the mobility of it too. They're also quite mobile. As you can see, they're quite fast. You can see their combat stats right here. They do still have the 2 pierce armor. When you upgrade them to elite, it does go up to a whopping 3, which is quite substantial in this case. Like, the mobility is also nice too. You'd have to forward the siege workshop to put on some serious heavy pressure there, whereas this castle can be, you know, also a defensive thing. It also protects, you know, this stone mine, this gold mine, these walls, prevents any forwarding action right now, and the Tarkins are much quicker to enforce, and you don't need to protect them as much as you would with your own siege weapons. So the Tarkins are a better choice when you don't want to, you know, tech into a siege workshop super early on. Another situation where they're better is when you need to make petards, and this is what I really hope we see. Oh my god, we might get 2 units in one. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I can't wait to see how good this replay is. Come on, make a petard. He has a castle here. This is such a good opportunity here. If he went for like Knights in a siege workshop, he doesn't get the surprise, unexpected jihad that he does here. Oh my god, yes, it's a petard. Ah! I'm hyped, man. Wow. Okay, so the reason that this strategy is going to be so good is because if you go for Tarkins, you can throw petards in, and the one time in the universe the petards are good is when your opponent has a lot of stone walls and you need to blow them down immediately without giving him any warning. What sucks the most about something like a battering ram is that it gives your opponent so much time to react. The forward siege workshop here is too obvious. It signifies that, like, it just says, I'm going all in. Like, here comes the aggression. But this defensive castle doesn't really give Alive, the Green Mines player, that much information. He knows there's a castle here. He thinks Tarkins or something could come out, but he doesn't really know for sure. He's kind of prepping right now. We can see that Alive, building a bunch of houses, trying to, like, segment his base a little bit in case these walls get breached in this area. He does have, like, backup walls, but really, it doesn't give him that much information, whereas a forward siege workshop just tells the whole story, and the petards, like, they give you no warning. It just happens. The walls just explode, and you can get right in there with your opponent not having any time to react at all. The monastery, very standard thing on Arena. He's trying to, you know, pick up all the relics, and the monks are also really good against knights, which you would anticipate from the Huns player. And they're also pretty good against Tarkins again. You know, you just convert them away, but I don't think he anticipates this many Tarkins here from IAmAbe. With the double petards, that's exactly enough damage that he needs to go blow down this wall. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. This gate gotta be blown open, and I don't think that Alive is prepared or expecting this at all. Gate down to half HP. Here comes the second petard. Holy shit, and here comes the Tarkins. Quick wall off coming up here from Alive, but that might be too little too late. This university coming out. I mean, come on, let's look at Alive's perspective. He's just trying to go straight to the Imperial Age. Super greedy, but very straightforward. Nice quick wall up from him. I mean, his eco is massive. It's actually a great quick wall off. He'll be able to protect the entire back area of his economy. These villagers are trapped, though, and this is when the Tarkins come in handy. Here's something that they can't do. By the time a battering ram gets, like, all the way over here, like, this quick wall will already be finished, but these Tarkins are fast enough that they can apply that pressure. It's okay, though, because he gets to force out some stone walls in this case. And the big problem here for Alive is that all of his villagers in this town center are trapped. He's going to lose this TC, and he can't get his main stone anymore. Another reason why this strategy is good is if we take a look at the map, this is a great location to put on some serious aggression. Because this is the main stone mine of Alive. If he loses this, as the Mayans, he loses a huge chunk of his offensive prowess. He can't go for plume archers anymore, and he also can't get the El Dorado technology that makes his elite Eagle Warrior so good. So being able to deny the Mayan player from his stone mine is ridiculous, and look at the Tarkin damage here on this town center, it's going down. Also denies the secondary stone mine from Alive. So the Tarkins here getting tremendous value. These villagers are going to try and escape. Oh, we see an attempted body block going on from IAmAbe. He's going to try and body block these villagers, but he doesn't have enough time. The defensive castle is going up in a great position here from Alive. We'll be able to repel this, and a couple Tarkins do get converted. So both players here with Tarkins, the Tarkin mirror. Tarkin's going to try and get out of here, but unit pathing OP in Age of Empires. We've all seen this before. This one Tarkin walked in the wrong neighborhood and is going to die. This is not your base, my friend. Wow, that's pretty intense. I mean, when you think about it, like, going for all these Tarkins was actually totally worthwhile in this case, as he did manage to blow up an entire TC, kill a bunch of villagers, force a defensive castle, waste all this wood and stone on the house wall, the stone walls. That's pretty worthwhile. Force the castle, screw up the Imperial Age of the Mayan player. IAmAbe is on a timer in this case because, again, the Mayans are favored in the super duper late game, so he wants to put on as much pressure as he can and try and prevent the game from dragging as long as that. More Petards coming out. Oh, I love this. This is why this strategy can be super good in conjunction with Petards on the map Arena. He's just going to blow down this wall and go in through the other side, in which Alive, not prepared yet. He's going to stonewall this so he can secure a secondary stone because he knows that this new front stone is not really completely safe. But I don't know if he's ready for the double Petard coming in that's going to blow down this side and kill a bunch of these villagers. This stone mine is going to get secured here, the double barracks. Again, we were talking about this game plan here from the Mayans. He wants to boom into elite Eagle Warriors because that's how you win this matchup. When you're playing against an opponent civilization that has no, like, good units against elite Eagle Warriors, in this case, no champions from the Huns, you might as well go for elite Eagles. It's absolutely insane. They're already so powerful in the Imperial Age, and you'll be able to get the Imperial Age so fast because, you know, the Mesoamerican civs like the Aztecs and the Mayans have great economy bonuses. It makes sense. A little bit of poking with the scout going on over here. It's going to be a little bit annoying. I'm going to delay this town center. And wow, the walls are open. Tarkin round 2 coming in here. Let's see how much damage this does. He's going to push out and force a bunch of these villagers off the lines. Even though these villagers did not die, they're no longer farming, so they might as well be dead. And this economy is not safe. This castle protects, you know, the stone mine and a couple of these farms over here, but it does diddly squat for the back area. What makes Tarkin such a good raiding unit is that they have really high pierce armor, like a knight, so that they are able to just eat up these town center shots. And no fletching, remember. No fletching from our Mayans player because he's going for Eagle Warriors. So that makes this even more effective. And he's already clicked up to the Imperial Age, so the Hun player, IAmAbe, is advanced to the Imperial Age right now, so that the elite Tarkins hopefully are coming out here. The Tarkins, in this case, are just better than knights because they're able to blow up the town centers, and they also allow him to throw in Petards, which he would not otherwise be able to do if he was making knights. However, they are getting converted here, so apparently one of the best ways to deal with Tarkins is to steal someone's OP unit with your monks. This is great. I love to see some variety from the Huns. No cavalry archers for a change. It's actually just Tarkins. And this is sick. There's so much eco damage going on here. While the town bell is being wrong here, and the villagers inside the town centers, they're not actually gathering anything, so all those villagers might as well be dead. That's a huge amount of eco damage. And no, he didn't actually ring the town bell. Pro players will usually drag like a box around their villagers and then garrison them inside the town center rather than ring the town bell. So that way, because if you ring the town bell, then all of these town centers, all the villagers go inside the TC and they're all idle. Whereas just, garrisoning them manually in like a box ensures that at least half your eco is still working. I love this. Also, you see the defensive upgrades here. The +1, +2 defense has been researched for IAmAbe, the teal Huns player, and this means that, again, he'll tank those town center shots better. This is just so much better, because in this matchup, your opponent is going for elite Eagle Warriors. It makes sense. So there's going to be no fletching, so these Tarkins are going to be so unbelievably tanky. Eagle Warriors pushing out here. They are elite. This strategy has been delayed substantially due to all the Tarkin pressure, and the eco is quite weak for our green player over here. he just doesn't have, like, that much gold. I mean, like, basically, in terms of population, he's actually slightly behind as the Mayans in this matchup, which is almost unheard of. It's almost unheard of. Eagle Warriors need their upgrades. No El Dorado yet. Not much on the defense upgrades because he's behind economically. It looks like IAmAbe is going to build a town center all the way over here, try and sneak some resources. It's a good idea to build, like, town centers or try and mine the external resources on a map like Arena before your opponent notices. It can definitely give you a big edge there. Hidden information. More Petards, more Tarkins, and a second castle! Oh my god, IAmAbe is heavily committing to Tarkins. That's what I like to see, guys. Oh, this is absolutely awesome. Bloodlines upgrade coming out. These are going to be tanky. And now the real question is, how do Tarkins match up against Elite Eagle Warriors? And Eagle Warriors do have a really, really tiny attack bonus versus cavalry units, but it's pretty tiny, actually. Like, it's actually almost an even fight here. And since the upgrades were so much delayed, for Alive, the Green Mayans player is buying time for IAmAbe to get his own upgrades and mass up a huge army in this case. That outpost isn't going up, by the way, guys. Spoiler alert, that's not going to happen. Trebuchet pressure going on here, and the castle is going to start getting sieged. No upgrades here yet from the Mayans player. He's waiting for El Dorado. He's waiting for the rest of his blacksmith upgrades. Yeah, that outpost isn't going up. Rip villager. Oh, it's unfortunate. The good news is with the Tarkins here, though, is if he wins any direct engagement, he can just clean up all these castles without having to tech into anything else, and it's just so nice in his economy. Stockpiling resources right now to try and get that elite Tarkin upgrade. He's going to focus down these trebuchets and then pull out because he doesn't want to take the fight with the Elite Eagle Warriors head on. Is that El Dorado upgrade coming? Not anytime soon, it looks like. Yeah, check out that real quickly. He might actually not just have enough money at all for El Dorado, or he might already be researching it right now. Wow. Economy here a little bit imbalanced for our green player. As, again, his economy did get screwed up majorly. He had so much idle time in his farmers, and his stone mine got screwed up. He's really, really heavy on wood here, and this is what I meant by you might as well mine those resources before your opponent notices, but that's not really going to pay off in this case, as the Elite Eagles are going to come over here. Without El Dorado, which he does not have the cash for right now, this fight is heavily in favor of the Tarkins, and he's got Elite now, 170 HP. Oh, this is great. 11 attack versus 9. Definitely favors the Tarkins, as the Elite Eagle Warriors also have no melee armor, but the Tarkins have 1. This is a good fight. And yeah, Trebuchet is coming. Oh, we'll see how this one shapes out. I would say, though, that Teal is certainly on a timer here. IAmAbe has to win pretty soon. Because once the El Dorado actually comes out, and, you know, should our Green Mayans player over here alive decide to tech into Elite Plumes and whatnot, that would be pretty devastating, as they're all very, very hard for the Huns to deal with. But on even terms right now, in the early Imperial Age, it does favor the Huns in this case, as there's just not enough upgrades here for the Elite Eagle Warriors. He's got +4 defense, no El Dorado yet. Archer range is coming out here. He's probably thinking of skirmishers, I think. Maybe cavalry archers, we'll find out, as he is going to have to mix in something else into this army comp. A third castle for more Tarkins. Once he reaches critical mass with the Tarkins, he could also just ignore this fight entirely and just go for the throat. As these Tarkins have way more map pressure than a huge group of Paladins do. You think a massive group of Paladins has, you know, a serious threat to it? No, the Tarkins have even more, as the, you know, huge group of Paladins can just run by and just clean up a bunch of town centers and just destroy someone's economy, like, instantly. Tarkins can do that even better and even quicker. Relics picked up here, which is good. You definitely want to grab those on Arena in case it drags on. It can make a huge, huge difference in the long run. And right now the game is incredibly even, with a lot of pressure being put on with these trebuchets, but defensive trebuchets will be able to keep IAmAbe in the game. University coming down, that's good. These two archer ranges will not actually get to do anything at all, so it looks like mono Tarkins, nothing but Tarkins versus Eagle Warriors. Siege Workshop is going to be a good choice here, as the trebuchets have not been able to get too much done. He's going to need some rams, and now the fight begins. Tarkins versus Elite Eagles. However, the Elite Eagles still do not have El Dorado. The economy is just not strong enough for Alive. He has just been floating so much wood, and I'm assuming that he's getting El Dorado at this point in the game. I'm assuming, as he does have to pull back here. Any El Dorado yet? Well, not 100% sure where the El Dorado is. Either way, he's got a bunch of Eagles. They have max defensive upgrades, so they take less damage, especially important against castles, and the trebuchet line is moving forward. He's going to have to focus fire down those trebuchets, but it looks like Alive is going to try and take the Tarkins on themselves, and Well, if you're trying to fight the Tarkins one-on-one, that means you're not really dealing with these trebuchets, which aren't going to be able to take down that castle. He's banking on his own trebuchets being able to take down the opposing trebuchets. But look at the Tarkins, just doing work here to these elite eagles. It's a close fight, but the Tarkins here are slightly favored. And another Petard moving out. The Petard plus Tarkin combination. Oh, it's a close fight, but the Tarkins are actually losing this. Oh god, it's so close. Oh, this is the most even battle I've seen in a while. But still no... Okay, there we go. There's the El Dorado. So that explains why that fight was going so far in his favor. The Eagle Warriors are a lot easier to mass up in this case because he can build so many barracks. And aha! Teching into Spearmen. Tarkin, a unit that we don't really see that much of, is actually forcing a Mayans player to tech into pikemen. I absolutely love this. And the decision to tech into pikemen here is absolutely required. He has no choice. You know, training the Eagle Warriors for the Tarkins is just not that efficient, and you have to really be conservative with your gold in a 1v1 in the late game, and, you know, this game has gone on for 41 minutes, right? So the late game is already here. You definitely want to be conservative with your units, and pikemen, while they, you know, lose one-on-one to a Tarkin and a knight, they certainly trade cost efficiently, as they don't cost any gold. Another trebuchet fight going on over here. The Tarkin's still alive. This monk actually will be able to heal the Tarkin, so that'll be good. But now that the halberdiers are coming out, this might actually be it for our teal player here. IAmAbe might not be able to close out this game now that the counter units are here. He has to transition into something else, and this is a good decision. Bunches of archer ranges coming out here. He knows he's low on gold as well, and teching into skirms will allow him to hopefully fight these halberdiers. He should pull back into these castles, I think. The castles will be able to make this a favorable engagement. The Tarkins are really tanky though, so this isn't a complete disaster yet. Once the elite skirmishers come out here, he should be good, but he does have to pull back. So, okay, so IAmAbe is going to pull back to his castle so his castles can clean up those halberdiers, which have very low pierce armor. Skirmishers are decent against halbs, but skirmishers are quite bad against elite Eagle Warriors, as elite Eagle Warriors have a ridiculous amount of pierce armor. This is looking really bad, actually, for IAmAbe, as the late game, it's finally here. It's finally here, and this certainly favors the Mayans, as he doesn't have a clean answer to those elite Eagle Warriors. Nor does he have really a clean answer to the halberdiers, without any arbalists or hand cannoneers at his disposal. Heavy cavalry archers both beat halberdiers, but are also beaten by halberdiers. They only beat halbs if the halbs don't actually get up to you. So this army comp here is going to be a lot less efficient. So we'll see. Green is going to do a lot of raiding on this town center, probably force the bell to be rung. Elite Eagle Warriors so good at raiding because they're high HP, high pierce armor. This next fight is going to basically decide the game. Underneath the castles, though, underneath two castles, I do believe that IAmAbe should be able to beat Alive's army here, but he does have to pull back a little bit. He's running out of stone. He's not actually repairing his castle. The second lobby of, wow, the second trebuchet shots aren't going to come down, and they're going to take down that castle, so it's actually very, very bad. This game quickly turning around. The Tarkins put on so much pressure. However, sitting underneath both those castles for so long, look at all the dead bodies. Look at all the dead bodies. Alive is running out of steam, and the mass skirmishers are going to do a lot of work in this situation. But look at this eco damage here. So much eco damage. Alive has just destroyed the economy of IAmAbe, getting all the villagers into that town center, forcing all that idle time. Still not ungarrisoned yet. Well, down one castle, that definitely weakens the speed in which you can produce Tarkins, and with so much map control in favor of green, something crazy has to happen right now. But that last engagement was actually very, very cost efficient. Fighting under two castles does mean that he got to clean up that entire army with minimal losses. Every Tarkin is precious at this point with one less castle. Does he have enough elite skirmishers? Oh, fighting underneath another castle, is that going to be enough? Those siege rams getting stuck on everything as if they're coated in flypaper. They're not. Oh, the only one's going to make it to the castle. The Tarkin's going to be a nice front line here. Meat shields to soak up damage for the skirmishers, while the skirmishers do remove the rest of this army. Oh, this is a really, really close fight. This one Tarkin will take out that siege ram, but I'm not really convinced. Looks like Teal's falling apart here. IAmAbe, his Tarkin Rush strategy was working so well. It was working so well, but he wasn't able to kill his opponent. He did so much work, and it just goes to show that this strategy has a place. Sometimes it can work, but this is how you react to it, and it definitely is situational in this game. It almost worked. It was real close, and I admire him for trying it. It's just in this case, in the super duper late game, these elite Eagle Warriors are so hard to deal with for the Huns player. No clean counter here, no champions, siege rams moving out, and with the gold running low, can't really sustain Tarkin production anymore. The elite skirmishers will get clobbered by the Eagle Warriors. Oh man, I don't know how Teal could possibly turn this around in this case. IAmAbe is gonna have to pull something out of his sleeve. I mean, this is a really aggressive forward castle. He might not be able to defend this. Alive might lose that castle. The one thing that's keeping him in this game is just taking cost-efficient engagements. He's fighting underneath several castles at once, which means he's, you know, basically getting a bunch of units for free here out of his opponent. But the skirmisher army is going to fall, and I think that is game for Teal, as IAmAbe is going to resign. What a good try here. The Tarkan rush was definitely... Oh, it was almost worked. It almost worked. Next time, guys. So very close. It was such a great idea here, considering that Alive, the Green Mayans, was obviously going to boom and go into Elite Eagle Warriors. We know it based off the Civ matchup. The Huns don't have a good answer to Elite Eagle Warriors. He's going to boom up, right? And with the Petards and the Tarkins, he's able to apply so much pressure. IAmAbe got to really slow down the Mayans, and he had to do something like that. He had almost no choice but to try something crafty to try and take the Mayans out in the early mid-game before they reach that super-duper strong endgame and take those cost-efficient fights. Full-on elite Tarkins almost worked. They almost worked. And it just goes to show that they have potential there. But if you don't get to do enough damage with them, then then the game's over. Unfortunately, it looks like IAmAbe has just noticed that there's a gold mine over here, so that sucks. If he found that gold mine and he scouted all the way in this corner, that actually would have made a big difference. As one of the problems that IAmAbe was running into is that he was running low on gold. And having an extra gold mine in the corner over there is really unfortunate, and that's just how it happens in Arena. There's always that hidden little gold mine, you know, just in a small little chunk you never scouted. He's scouting it right now with a bunch of outposts. Oh, he did have a gold mine back here, okay. Yeah, Just lost a lot of map control, didn't have the units in order to take down the Mayans in that case. But yeah, it was definitely a really fun strategy, an interesting one to watch. When I show you guys a strategy in this series, obviously the gimmicky strategy won't win every single time. Otherwise, that would be boring. But it did almost work. Alright, so that was a fun one. Let's go check out the achievements, guys. Let's go check out the achievements. Alright. A victory for the Mayans! 'Twas quite a close game, quite a close game. The Monks also a good response as well. And the largest army here in favor of Teal, as he did make a lot of skirmishers, and that, we can see that reflected in the units killed to units lost towards the end, as IAmAbe really just wasn't getting that much value out of the skirmishers. Skirmishers are okay against halberdiers, obviously, but they're not very good against Elite Eagle Warriors, and he could have gone for cav archers or something, but he needed the gold for the Tarkins. No heavy scorpions, which would have been a decent choice in this case, even though Elite Eagle Warriors have enough pierce armor that they're decent enough against the scorpions. If you got enough heavy scorpions, you can still mow them down. And heavy scorpions very, very good against the halbs. Huns don't get that. They don't get arbalists. They do not get hand cannoneers. So that's unfortunate. And teching into heavy cav archers would have been really tough. And heavy cav archers, again, not good against the Elite Eagle Warriors and the halberdiers. So really good unit choices here from Alive. The Mayans player was what won the game in the end. Another significant thing as well is we see the 3 relics captured by Alive much sooner than they were captured by IAmAbe. That definitely does make a big difference. So yeah, the game was in his favor, and that was an admirable effort here. I love the Petards as an addition, because that's what actually makes this strategy a lot scarier. If you throw a bunch of, like, Tarkins up against the wall, and you build a siege workshop, and you build a battering ram, and you try and get through that wall, most people would be wondering, why did you not go for knights if you're going to go for a siege workshop anyway? Why make the castle? And this way he gets the most value out of his castle by putting Petards to use, and this is the situation where Petards are super duper good. And they did a lot of damage to blow down that wall and allow the surprise Tarkins to get in there and do a bunch of damage to the economy. So this was definitely an entertaining one. Shame the Huns didn't come out on top here, but Alive definitely earned this one, as he knows all about his unit choices here. And teching into halberdiers ended up winning him the game. And yeah, so Alive did really, really well there. And same with IAmAbe, definitely was entertaining. Alright guys, so I hope you all enjoyed watching this match as much as I did. If you did, don't forget to leave a like rating, as it does help me out quite a bit. And if you enjoyed watching this video, you'll probably like the rest of the stuff on my YouTube channel as well. I have plenty of other Age of Empires 2 videos there, as well as videos of other games. So yeah, I also do live stream regularly. You can find a link to my Twitch TV live stream in the video description below or on the screen, and I'd love to have you there. Play some games with or against me. So as always, thank you so much for your feedback and support. As always, definitely appreciate it. Hope you've all been enjoying this new Break the Meta series. I look forward to the next match that I get to bring you guys, in which we get to see more Tarkins, more War Wagons, and who knows what's next. I'm excited. I'm excited to see some innovation in Age of Empires 2. This game might be really old, but sometimes outside of the box thinking is exactly what you need to give yourself an edge in a matchup that would otherwise be unwinnable. Alright, GG well played, guys. I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching.